Foraging for Nettle Medicine is the fourth book in my Herbal Adventures series of books for kids, which introduces kids to the concept that our wild weeds are actually edible and medicinal. So if you haven't gotten a copy yet of Foraging for Nettle Medicine, jump out now and Google it for whatever country you are in. Most Amazons around the world will stock it, and of course independent book retailers. All right, so in the true name of this video, Simple Foragers Soup is just that. We are going to do this with really simple ingredients. Here I have just diced up a brown onion. You can dice up some shallots if you have those. And here I am now shelling, if you like, or peeling the skin back off some garlic, mincing some garlic and setting that aside for later. So in the Herbal Adventures series of books, Foraging for Nettle Medicine is the fourth book in the series. It follows Dandelion Medicine, Plantain Medicine, Yarrow Medicine. So if you haven't already grabbed yourselves a copy of those books, you can either, if you're in Australia, jump onto my website, www.greenheartherbals.com to get your copies of those, or Google where there is a seller near you. So now I am cutting up 4 potatoes, and I'm just dicing those. I'm just making enough soup today to serve 2 people. And, in relation to the name of this soup, it is a simple forager soup. And if you were out in the field, you wouldn't be carrying a lot of extra ingredients with you. So serving for 2 is fantastic. Now, as you can see, I have foraged for a whole little box of fresh stinging nettles, packed full of nutrients. Here I am just removing the leaves from the stem to fill a beautiful mixing bowl of fresh, nutritious stinging nettle leaves. Now, if you haven't handled stinging nettle before, it will sting you, which is why it's called stinging nettle. If you're not comfortable with this, by all means, please wear a pair of gloves. And if your children are helping you in the kitchen, and they're not used to stinging nettle, then I do recommend that they wear gloves also. However, depending on what region you live in, what the climate has been like, sometimes stinging nettle doesn't actually sting that much, and it's more of a little zing on your skin. These ones weren't very zingy, very stingy, but I have definitely worked with some very potent nettles in the past. Okay, so here I've added my pot to the stove and added in some olive oil. And I am just throwing in here my diced chopped onions, and I'm going to bring them to a glassy consistency. I don't want to overcook them. I just want to make them nice and glassy before I add in that beautiful minced garlic that we minced up earlier. Teaching our kids to forage is a beautiful life skill, but my real aim is to connect people back to the earth, which again gives you life skills, but it also, once we understand what grows around us, we tend to be more inclined to protect those things. Okay, so here I have added in our potatoes and the stock that we have made earlier. If you've read the book, Sammy actually forages for 2 additional ingredients in the book, and that is in my stock recipe, which you can also find on my website. Here I'm just adding in some seasoning before I pop a lid onto this pot and allow it to boil for about 10 minutes until those spuds are nice and soft. And then I am going to grate in a small amount of nutmeg for flavour and add in those beautiful fresh nettle leaves. You can see it's like spinach. It will reduce down to practically nothing. We don't want to overcook the nettles. We do want to disable or neutralize the sting though. So we definitely want to have it very immersed in that hot water and get it ready for serving. So here I've just taken it off the heat. I'm blending that up. And soon I will taste this, and it just needed a little bit of extra flavour for me. So I do add the juice of half a lemon to taste. That is optional. Obviously, if you're out in the field and you are foraging for spring nettles, you're not going to find a spring lemon. they come in autumn. But that was something that I wanted for a little bit of extra flavour. And I had also been out into my garden previous to making this video and collected some additional wild flowers for garnish. The other thing I add to this bowl of soup is a little dollop of sour cream. So it's as simple as that, and something as beautiful as dandelions can make it look pretty. I hope you have enjoyed learning how to make this very simple foragers soup, and that you and your kids try it at home.